Hello, everyone back.
Yes, I'm back.
Yes.
Okay, we continue the next lecture. Uh, Now we talk about cognitive process, how each contact and how the thing is processed. It's a pretty in-depth and pretty dry topic. So bear with me. Okay, we need to talk about what are these about. When you talk about mind, it means talking about series of thought. Then you know what is consciousness. Anything contact consciousness will arise. So only one unit of thought exists at any one moment. Only one. There's no multiple one. Only one. Every time is one time. So this one, and then the last one we're talking about death. So this one is a very important topic. So after death, the first chitta at conception in the new place is called the Pati Sandhi Chitta. It's called the rebirth. So whenever there is a death occur, it's called Chuti consciousness, and then immediately it will follow to the Pati Sandhi Chitta. It's a continuation from there. This is ambiguous arguing among the various, beside Theravada, the other two sect of Buddhism, they very disagree on this. They have something like called in between, or we call the halfway house. I mean, when you are dead, not straight away you will seek for reborn. You'll be down there waiting to be reborn. Especially the Mahayana, they get 49 days, all right? And then some or other one is talking about there's a halfway house out there. Okay, so we are not going to argue about this. So Theravada, just remember, upon death, straight away reborn. So after the Pati Sandhi, Pati Sandhi, the chitta elapse, a series of similar type of chitta arise one after another, known as the Bhavanga chitta. So upon this rebirth take place, that thing just one moment, the Pati Sandhi happen, then we all remember when you have surviving life, this Bhavanga or what I call life will continue again. Okay, then the rest is other chitta which we're going to look into it when we're talking about death. Very, very interesting topic, and also for our understanding. And the time when happen to us, you need how to go through this process, right? Rather than living in fear. So the purpose is a functioning of continuing the life. So this is the Teva way of interpretation. When one is not aware of these thoughts arise because of Patisandhi, Bhavanga Citta have the object from the previous birth. Very interesting. I mean, when you are not aware of this thought, upon the continuity of this life, this Bhavanga Citta carry on with the thinking of the last capture object from the previous rebirth. Previous birth. That means already passed away. So object taken by the date approximate thought series in the previous birth. That's what we are trying to put across. The date approximate thought series. This is a very interesting subject, which we Theravada, if we have no fear, then when we encounter such a thing happen in our current life, then you will know what you to expect the following. If not, it will be very nightmare to you. So as a Buddhist, we should not frighten to talk about death because every one of us has one chance. So Bhavanga Citta exists and most of the time in the passive state of the mind. So the moment rebirth takes place, remember, Bhavanga will start again. So whatever later, we will study what is going on. And what is Bhavanga Chitta? You all may have known by now. The explanation of Bhavanga Chitta is a concept in Theravada Buddhism, particularly within the Abhidhamma tradition. It refers to a type of subconscious mental process that underlies and support conscious experience. I mean, this is a thing that is supporting the continuation of life. So when you are alive, this bhavanga is a must to carry on with the process of living. So the term bhavanga can be translated as a ground of becoming, means to become or condition for existence. The requirement when you want to live, you need the bhavanga. And chitta means mind or consciousness. So key features of bhavanga chitta is a subconscious continuity. I mean, it's continue without you knowing unless you are a true meditator, then you can understand which chitta one after. If not, it's a process that we by layman we cannot able to pinpoint why is that. So Bhavanga Chitta represents the passive subconsciousness flow of mental activity that occurs when the mind is not actively engaged in perceiving. Especially when you're not concentrating, this Bhavanga is still working. Thinking or responding to the sensory stimuli. So it's a background mental state that maintains continuity between moments of active consciousness. So just remember, Bhavanga exists whatever until you are disturbed. Okay, so we need this to survive. Another word is called life continuum. I think you all by now should know what is life continuum. It's often described as a life continuation or life continuum because it sustains the mental stream from one life to the next. So let's say in the previous one, dead body will continue to the, it's something like an ethical network that keep on linking to each other. So there's continued flow of it, linking past, present, and future existence in a cycle of rebirth or samsara. So basically, it's something like electricity. You say you can't cut off electricity because the thing will continue flow and flow and flow. So it's a form of stopper, unobstructive, obstructive bhanga or called bhavanga chitta is stopper and not directly noticeable in ordinary experience. It only becomes apparent when it is interrupted by active cognitive process such as sensory perception or thought. That is why we talk about the 17 thought moment. When bhavanga is continuing, only upon interrupt this bhavanga can we start our sensing or radar of the five faculty to stop and start pinpointing to it. It's a role in the mental process. When sensory object or the thought arises, the bhavanga flow is interrupted and this active consciousness, vitti chitta, takes over to process the stimulus. Once the active process ends, the mind returns back to bhavanga state. That's why we earlier talked about these five faculty, how is interrupted and how this object captured by this faculty process, and after processing, it will return back to the bhavanga state and their life continue again. So it's a connection to rebirth. At the moment of death, the last active consciousness, what I call the chuti. So every one of us has one. The job is to cut off the life. Ceases and the bhavanga chitta serve as a link to the next existence, carrying the karma tendency from one life to the next. So this is an explanation that life after life, there's no stop, continuation to the next one, which the other sect of Buddhism disagree to this. We don't go and argue with that. We study Theravada, we just follow this one. Later, when you complete, you want to do a research, then you can find what fault they have or what fault we have. But until now, nobody dare to say this is the false teaching of Buddha. Okay, we come to the 5 cent door thought, just to remind you again, the 5 cent door series. Remember, if you got thought one, you got 17 of them, total 1 to 17. The thought process is a continuous process where different thoughts arise in our mind at very high frequency. It's so fast that cannot be measured, that even we can't even observe what we are doing. Okay? So this is a very kind of hard to interpret. But if you put close attention to it, then you have an understanding of why this 70 thought process is so fantastic. Over a million of such thought moments said to happen in a second. It's not possible to verify this scientifically because in science, there's no tooth to measure this. So science cannot prove that this is, to them, is correct. So they disagree to this. As no scientific apparatus available today are capable of capturing thought process, but they're able to capture the heart, their rest. But this one, they cannot measure it. So this thought process happen in a series of 70 thought moments. So as you see, one after another, then finish, the next one continue. So this process will continue forever until you're cut off. Cut off, then start another new one again. So from now onwards, we'll be going through all these 17 thought moments and some even less. Okay, that's why when you talk about death, they are don't have total of 17, there will be less. So we going to study all this, quite a interesting topic. But I myself also not really a guru on this. So if you all have ever go to any Abhidhamma lecturer, please share this. Okay. So the duration of material phenomenon lasts for 17 such moment. So the 5 cent object enters the venue, the 5 cents door at the state of present, where one of the several mind moments have passed. So any interruption at this, that means past Vavanga starting, and then when you get interruption, then you address it, then your sense door open, whether your eye, whichever is the strongest, will pick, and then you process receiving, investigation, determining, and then you got these 7 javana. Okay, 7 javana, first and the last one pretty weak. So this javana is a cause of karma. We're going to study this later, see how serious this javana is about. Okay, that's why thought very important. So when you have bad one, this bad one will be inherit into it. So after that, it's like registration. When you have seen something, investigate something, and know something, then you have this kind of like computer. When you type the Word or Excel or whatever, you need to register. That means you need to save it. So this is like the computer saving the whatever you have decided. So this is saving the work. And then after finish this, the Bhavanga start again. Right? So this is a cycle how it go about. So if we study here, things like very great object cognitive. That means this thing is so great attraction to you that you can never forget. So it's called great object. Sometimes you have weak object, very, very, very dim one, you will forgotten easily and will not register. That's why when you have this very great object, your this registration, they call it Tadran Mana Vara. These two will definitely register this consciousness into your memory. So this thing will forever remain very clear to you. So we talk about this, why thing you can remember very much greatly, and why thing you're absent-minded, whatever sort of things that you cannot remember clearly. So this is talk about this registration. So is these two registration never work properly, so your kind of memory will never register into your so-called, we call it computer database. Okay, so something work of a computer kind of scenario. So we're going to study all this, like the rising, present, and then very interesting. Then very hard to explain also. In some cases, I find it very difficult to explain. Very interesting part here is the five-door cognitive process. How this, let's say, the eye work. So first one, when the visible form object having passed on the mind moment enters the venue of eyes. So when you see the eye, you see the object here, is because of this eye lens. Then actually our thing seeing is a color. It's a color of the thing. Okay, color. So the light momentum vibrates owing to this impact. You got targeted by this eye. So this thing vibrate, and then you stop all the bhavanga or light continuum from carry on. And then, so let's say the eye, actually all the five all working. It's a radar. Then the eye is the strongest one. You will take the eye. So the five-door everything consciousness arises and sees everything the same visible form as an object. So when the eye is strong, it will take the particular object. But for eye, it's actually the coloring. The eye consciousness seeing the form, what I call the Sapatichana Vita, it start the investigation. So actually, it's not the eye. I never process the thing. It's the mind that do it. I only how much light, how much color, how much thorough examination of the particular, let's say, object or picture is taken. So after that, it's a receiving consciousness that they take it. So next one is after capturing, the thing will take it. And then the following arises, the investigating consciousness, or what I call the Santirana, decided whether you like or dislike it. Actually, I wouldn't say like or dislike, but it's more of taking it and then you pass it to the mind. So this is a thing very interesting about it. You receive it, then you capture it, then after checking it, then you decide to take it. So it's very important, these three process. So let's say investigation wouldn't want, so this thing object will be thrown away. So this is a thing that decided the final thing, whether the object, how much capturing. That's why our understanding of knowledge is how much we are able to capture it and process it later. So after investigate and then this final, the determine, consciousness determines that action to be taken. Let's say if a wise attention, yaso manasikara is given, whatever object it is called a kusala follows. Okay, so that means this particular object is taken as something like a good one. So any of the 29 sense javana which has gained the right condition runs for 7 thought moments. Okay, so next one you pass it to javana. Javana have 7. So this is 7 will process it. Whether here is where karma, good or bad, is generated here. In such cases of high interest, all important 7 javana arises. So when thing is very big, interesting one, this javana, 7 of them, all will be focused on it and then arise one after another. Based on that determination, so this determination passes javana, make with the votana pana chitta. So these potent chitta are done with the javana state. So it's called javana of chitta, the root of mental power. They are important as is a time when the wholesome or unwholesome functional thought arise. This can also be functional also. So functional like Arahant, they do what when they attain that state, it's all functional. It's no more like us, wholesome or unwholesome. To them, it's all functional one. So after processed by the javana, the 2 realization resultant accordingly, only the very strong one, chitta, have been have them, and such strong impression are retained in one's memory. So when this particular color is very spectacular and very clear, you'll be registered in this registration one, and for there, that particular thing is been carefully crafted. So for you to pass to the next process. For some time, there is one will not forget immediately. That's why important. It's called whether it's a great object or minor object. So it's a great one, you understand it, and then that's why people memory are so good. If they have this kind of great object, always can listen or see, then that particular will register in the memory very wisely written down there. So this is called the Kamma Vachara Chitta Vitti. Okay, this is how eye object work. So this is how a good one have this 17 completion, 17 of this thought moment, okay? And then fully register, and then process, then you pass it to the mind. The mind will do another run through again. So basically, the 5 faculty job is to process the object, okay? That's how this thing works. So when object contact one of the 5 doors, the Bhavanga Chitta stop, and the active thought series called a Chitta Vitti begins to fall. So whenever the Bhavanga is arrested and then stop, then this is called a Chitta Vitti. And how this thought moment, one after another, will process this particular object. So this series of active thought arise in the sum order according to the Chitta Niyama, the psychic. So remember the niyama, the 5 niyama. So this is one of the thing they call it the psychic law, the Chitta Niyama. So it's one of the 5 natural law operating in the universe. However, you want another one, this thing is a mother nature law. So this is operated by the Chitta Niyama. So when object contact the Bhavanga stream, usually at least 3 Bhavanga thought. Okay, we now know as 3, but later on, death one, a very fantastic one. We will learn about Bhavanga can be less or can be even more, okay? Thought moment elapsed. So these thought moments of Bhavanga had elapsed are called Atita Bhavanga, past Bhavanga, then Bhavanga Chalana, vibrating Bhavanga, and then Bhavanga Upacheda, ceasing of Bhavanga. So this Bhavanga is also work in this way. Start, sustain, and then end. So the rising of Bhavanga stop and the active Chitta Vitti commences. So these three of them are process, then the next one is the other that take over. So it's the time duration of a life or lifespan of any thought unit. So long as a being is living, there's no moment when one does not experience a particular kind of consciousness, chitta. So as long as you are living being, there is the so-called consciousness chitta. So the rate at which thought arise is hardly conceivable as too swiftly to measure with any tooth. But that's why it's always against science. So science said there's no tool to measure. How can you say this is truth? So it said that in the twinkling of an eye, thousands of thoughts arise and perish. That's why the measure said when you tickle your eye, already many things already done. Okay, so all these thoughts are very fast processing. So when one unit of thought perishes, another thought arises immediately, following it. Thus, there's a continuous flow of consciousness like a stream without any interruption. It's like a river flow. Unless you barricade, the water will constantly flow non-stop. So even at the time of death, the thought series continues to the next birth. That's why here he explains, especially death, the last chapter. It talk about there's nothing to stop it. So as long as you attain Arahant state, then there's no rebirth. If not, we will continue to the next birth. There's no stopping of it. Whether it's good or bad, is your own karmic. So only at the time of death of an Arahat, this series stop. That's only explain why an Arahat wouldn't have this sort of continuation of rebirth. This have been rebuffed by this Mahayana because to be Arahat is so difficult to attain. I don't know why the monk of the olden time. So they come up with a fantastic idea. That's why they start the Mahayana branch of kind of Buddhism, which make even Buddhism more confusing. So whether whichever you don't go argue with those, especially in the Mahayana, the way of explaining date to them is very hard for them to understand from the Theravada point of view. So we're going to look into the six kind of chitta vitti. What are they? Six bases is called the vatu. Chakra vatu, eye base; sota vatu, ear base; kana vatu, nose base; jiva vatu, tongue base; kaya vatu, body base; adaya vatu, heart base. So vatu six. Six door, dwava. Dwava means the door. So Chaku Dwava, eye door; Sota Dwava, nose door; Gana Dwava, nose door; Jiva Dwava, tongue door; Kaya Dwava, body door; Mano Dwava, mind door. So the six object, you're going to know all these terms when later on all these terms will appear. So you must know, if they put in Pali, so you must know what is that. And then six object, Aramana. So Amana is Rupamana, object of form; Sadarama, object of sound; Ganarama, object of smell; Rasamana, object of taste; Potavana Rama, object of contact; and Dhammarama, mental object. So remember all these Pali terms, when they mention this, you certainly must know what is this. Okay? For this, you all should know, especially Putta and the Dhamma. Then we talk about six types of consciousness. It's called Vijnana. Chatu Vijnana, eye consciousness; Sota Vijnana, ear consciousness; Gana Vijnana, nose consciousness; Jiva Vijnana, tongue consciousness; Kaya Vijnana, body consciousness; and Mano Vijnana, mind consciousness. Then the next one, we talk about process. Six types of process or series of thought. There are six types of vitti according to the doors. Chatu Dwava Vitti, eye door, through thought process; Sota Dwava, ear process; Agana Dwava, nose process; Jama Dwava, tongue door process; Kaya Dhamma, body process; and Mano Dwava Vitti, mind door process. So remember when we talk about this contact with the various base, so the next one to take out is this. Whether it's an eye or not, this process will take over to determine whether, depending on your how you're going to do it. Okay, so this is a process one after another. And then there are six presentation objects. Vyasaya, Bhavati. Vyasaya are objects. Bhavati is objects present themselves at the door. So the sixfold presented object is as follow. So at the five sense door is Ati Mahatan, very great. So when you see things that can remember, it means it's very great. Mean Ati Mahanta. Then Mahanta, great. And then when your observation or the feeling become lessen, parita slight, and ati parita very slight. So that's why remembering things, these two, if fall under these two, then the thing measure is not so great. So probably you can become less important. And similar to the mind. Okay. Everything when you work the five, five door, the mind also operate the same thing. But except that it's only two kinds. Vibhuta, clear objects. These things are very can be registered very, how to say, objectively very clear. Okay. Then Avibhuta, obscure or not so clear objects. So important is great and slight. Do not indicate the size object. This one doesn't measure big or small object, but it's a clarity of the object, but the intensity in which it strike the door. So this fourfold classification is made by depending on the lifespan object contact by the VT chittas. That's why when you concentrate or you meditate on a particular object, how intense and how long you're going to 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 take on that particular object is a dependent of how much you can register there. Okay, so that's why same thing as studying. If you study, you put more of this attention, something else attention, then this thing can register on your mind easily. So let's say you don't care the kind, then thing will be not so great. So intensity object context a door depends on condition. So we talk about contact of eye door process. So eye sensitivity, the chakku pasada must be clear. So we are talking about eye sensitivity. I mean, you must not be color blind. Color blind is a big problem. And then also, let's say, like me, you are this so-called, uh, your eyes are not clearly seen. Then with all those things blocking, then you have problem uh, taking the object uh, clearly into your eye lens. Then next thing, you must have the visible object. Rupa aramana. That means when you do something, there must be an object for you to see, to possess, or to smell, or whatever. And then light, sufficient light. Okay, that's why when you go to a clear place, when the light is bright, you can see that all the colors, all the called borderline, everything very clearly. So this is called aloka, illumination must be present. So when you go to a thing that's dim, then that particular eye object may not be very clear. And then even you have one, two, three, all these three is present. You also my attention on object. That means paying full focus on a particular object, understanding it, and thoroughly look through it. I mean, the three dimension until there is really can consider the object and you are very sure of it. Then it's called attention on object. When you have a good manasikara, must be present. That's why some people, I said, when you listen to half away sleep, then you miss out something. And when you're seeing something, especially those things that are very important one, especially my last time when I'm doing the repairing of this board, this electronic board, you must also see properly where of fully careful observation. So when you have poor attention on this, things you miss out. So this is how they explain how this eye door process works. It's not so easy, but when you look through to explanation, then it may improve your understanding that when you're doing something, whatever you do, whether I listen or whatever, then you have to have all these four things present in order to have a fully understanding of this particular thing which you want to conceive it. Okay. Then same thing applies to the ear door process. Ear sensitivity, must be deaf or hearing problem, then your problem also. And ear object, Sada Aramana. The particular sound, whether it's a sound that is very loud or very light, or is very thin. And then the space, akasa, also must have a good surrounding. So your surrounding must be good, especially when you are inside the room. You may have clear kind of no blocking, and then you can have good capturing of the sound. Then attention, same thing, mani saka. So you must listen carefully. That's why in meditation, that's why they say, when you meditate, you on particular your mind, your ear don't have other kind of mani sakata happening. So instead your mind, your ear have more focus on it, then you have a problem or doing meditation. So these are all the explanation of how great the particular kind of faculty capturing the particular object. Then nose, similarly a nose process, kanda, your nose view, the hair must particularly good. So those old age, the smelling will start getting poorer. Then the smell object, whether the smell is great or not. And air element, the vaya dhatu, that means the air element must also present. And then the attention, mana sikara. And let's say inside the leaf, somebody put on the fragrance, and there's some very intensive one. Then you can measure with all these element, how this process work. Tongue door process, tongue sensitivity, jiwa pasada, rasa, mana, and then water element, apo dhatu, attention, the mana sikara. This one applies to those chefs, especially in competition, cooking competition. This one, those people have a strong tongue taste. Then they're able to measure how the food is cooked, how nice is it. So especially those with chef, they are very strong of this tongue. Then the body door process, talk about body sensitivity, kaya pasada, tangible object, pota, bama, mana. And then earth element, pata, vi, dhatu, and same thing, attention, mana, sikara. So same thing with the body. So when body, the way it works, whether you like cold or like hot or like whatever state of feeling, then there's also a kind of measurement of how this body works. Another one is a mind door. Mind door is a thought. We are not working with the five faculty, but your mental thinking of the particular object. So this one, they always measure in thought of heart base, adaya. So better use Pali word, English word, heart base, not so called compatible, because it normally means the physical heart. And then the mental object, the Dhamma Ramana, and then the Bhavanga Siddhi or Mano Drava, and similar thing, attention on object, Mana Sakikara. So that's mind door, especially meditation, very good example. You have an object to pinpoint on or attention to. This one, if you are a great meditator, you have no problem meditating on the particular mind object, and then you can easily conceive it, and then that's how you improve yourself. So this one similar to our earlier one. This is taken from the one of the website. How this 5 cent door series work? It's a thought process, a continuous process where different thoughts arise in our minds at very high frequency. It happen very fast. Over a million of such thoughts said to happen in a second. So it's not possible to verify this scientific as no scientific apparatus able today capable of capturing such thought. So this happened in 70 thought moment. So this was spent earlier. So when you talk about thoughts in the thought views flow, in a certain order as per psychic law, the Chitta Niyamaya, Javana impulse arise 7 times, one after another. We will look later how the beginning and the last one, how come is weak. And then the determining consciousness, Votapana, governs whether wholesome and also Javana to follow. And that's why we always talk about Javana. This Votavana will measure whether you will create good or bad thing. And then finally, if your realization not working, then this thing is of no use. So your realization of the consciousness, the Tada Ramana, is good. It only arises in sense sphere thought process, and present there always must be 2 thought moments. So this one is a thing that register. Whatever you have make it, there's a choice. So you register in your so-called memory, or in computer it's called the database. So here we'll break into the so-called touch, and then we will talk about the how many consciousness arise at each moment. When you talk about life continuum, you have this past life continuum. They code the thing as AB, and then vibrating life continuum, BC, and ceasing of life continuum, BU. Remember earlier we talked, even Bhavanga is starting, sustaining, and then after that die off. So when you talk life continuum, Bhavanga, there are total of 19 consciousness. And then we come to the 5 door, advertence, pancha vijana. I mean, whether the eye or the body touch our work, you quote the variation PN, there's only one arise. And then we have the 5 sense consciousness, the pancha vyana. Remember, five sense, 5 of them are all working, called CV. So 5 times 2, 10. Then you're receiving the Sapati Chana SM, there is 2. And investigation, Santi Rana SN, you have 3. Then for finally to be good or bad, the determine Votapana VT, there's 1. And then with Javana, the impulse, total 55 consciousness. And then the realization, the Tada Lamana, TD, we have 8. Okay. So to understand the different type of 5 sense door series, think about a conveyor belt that runs continuously with 17 buckets. Okay. Ask you imagine how this 17 thought moment work. If things started to load with the first bucket of conveyor belt, then all the 17 bucket can be filled to be used to maximum, right? This is a typical logic. So if the loading start with a delay, I mean, when you miss out one of the bucket, then the first few bucket will go empty and buckets will not be fully utilized, right? Likewise, depending on thought more process started timing, is intensity varies. That's why we will study later on how this Bhavanga got extra or minus off. Okay, so very interesting thing. If you wish to know more, so it's important to understand that there's no empty thought moments. Whenever there's empty bucket, is get filled with a past life continuum, it's AB. Okay, this is how you explain the conveyor belt. So as we spoken earlier, this five-section door object operate in this way. Very great, Ati Mahanta dot series. Great, I mean second one, Mahahanta dot series. Then slight Parita dot series. This is getting worse. And then very slight, I mean very little at anti-parita dot series. So basically, it's all process work in this four mode. So the five sense door thought process, the Pandava Chitta Viti, the object Aramana contacts the mind through one of the five sense door, Dvava. Then the five sense door can take only Rupa objects. The five element matter, Rupa Sada, Ganda Sada, and Putaba. So there is a lifespan of 17 thought moment. We call Chitta Kanna. Hence, the Panna Cha Dvava Diti has 17 thought moment. So any of these five faculty work, remember always 17 thought moment. So when a Rupa object strike a Dvava, I mean a door, it also contacts the same time the mind stream. That's why we have to think of where the faculty one take is just the object. So the mind is the next one to take over. Remember, that's how this thing operate. What I call the Mano Dwava or Bhavanga stream. The object and the door both are Rupa. So to establish the contact, they must be of the same age, born at the same time. When the send or door contacts the object, one chitta kana elapses. So this chitta kanna which passes is named Pasavanga. He's talking about earlier one. So when he talk Pasavanga, Atita Bhavanga, earlier one, this one. When condition are weak, you will take more than one Chittavana to deviate from the Bhavanga stream. These are some of the things that operated when you are having this weak Bhavanga. So this object, the Rupa, which impinges on the sense door, the moment of birth are called Anita Vanga. Very great. That's why I talk about when when you're coming to the end of your life, there's a nimitta, a sign called sign nimitta. That thing will register where you go, whether good or bad. It depends on your karmic decision. So that thing will continue to your next life. So this thing, some people say, true or not, right? This according to Teva teaching. Whether true or not is yourself know, because we can't share with you. Only you yourself will know. So people who practice well, then they know where they're going, and they're having a great one, very great one. Then they know where they are going. At least come back as human being. So to continue practice, so this is a very good sign. But if you see those woeful state, frightening, even there, you're not there to want to die, because that is very frightening. You only can see by the deceased person coming to the end of life. Okay? So they have 16 chitta kana left. So this object which impinges after 2 or 3 chittana are called Mahanta grade. Remember earlier we talked about this Mahanta grade, how many of them? So this object which impinges after 4th to 9 chitta kana are called Parita, slight. And those objects which impinge after 10 to 15 chatanga are called anti-very slight. So this is why our sense door, whether we capture it as a great object or as a very slight object, it depends on your number of this chitta kana. Okay? Next one, five sense door process. Pancha Dvava Chitta Vitti. Chitta Vitti has 17 thought moments with the lifespan of the Rupa object. So the life duration of the object and the Dvava are the same as shown between the brackets. And thoughts in the Chitta Vitti flow at a certain order as per Chitta Niyama, follow the cyclic law. So general order of Chitta, when objects strike a sense door, say the eye, Chakku, Dvava as listed in the next slide. Okay, this is how, I think we go through earlier, Bhavanga 19, and Pancha, 5.1, Pancha Viana 10, 2, Santirama 3, Pana 1, Javana 55, and Tarabana rising 8. This earlier slide already have it. So Javana or impulse thought, if present in Chitta Vitti, will arise 7 times, one after another. They are important as a time when unwholesome, wholesome, or functional thoughts arise, akusala, kusala, or kriya chitta, respectively. So in the Pancha Dava Chitta Vitti, there shall be only one sense Javana, Kama Javana, which is total to 29. And then the Votapana state is also important. If there's a wise reflection, what I call Yoni Sumna Masikara, at that time, whatever the object is Kusala Javana will flow. So Tanda Ramana or realization consciousness arise only in Kama Vachara, Chitta, Vitti, and if present, there may always be 2 thought moments. Okay, the question said, why Tadarama or realization consciousness arise only in the Kama Vachara Vitti? The Kama Vachara Chitti refers to the cognitive process that occur in the realm of sense sphere. Okay, that's why we have this Tada, because of the sense sphere consciousness, which is a domain of ordinary sensory experience and mental activity related to the 5 physical senses and the mind. So, nature of realization consciousness, the Tandramana Chitta. Resting consciousness is a state that the cognitive process where the mind registers or holds onto the object and experience after that it may fully process. It's a stubborn form of consciousness that arises only after the initial of perception, such as Pancha Dvava Vajana, or what I call the sense door, everything, and Jamana impulsion have occurred. And then the state is not present if all type of cognitive process but specific to the Kama Vachara Chitta Vitti because it deals with sensory and mental object in the sense sphere realm. So only sense sphere, you have this Tadra working. And then the scope of Kama Vachara Chitta. Kama Vachara Chitta operate in the realm of 5 senses and the mind, where the objects are experienced in a way that follows for detailed processing and realization. So this is a realm where the sensory input is most vivid and where the mind engages in active cognition, including the realization of object. So when we talk about in the higher realm, such as Rupa Vachara, form sphere, Arupacha, formless sphere, the cognitive process are more refined and abstract, and the detailed realization object does not occur. So only happen in the sense sphere. Remember that is for the TD. Then the function of Tata Majana in cognitive process. In the Kama Vachara Chitta Vitti, the cognitive process involves several stages: everything, perceiving, receiving, investigation, determine, impulsion, and finally registration. So the Tana Mana state arises to hold on to the object briefly after the active process of cognition has passed. So after the Javana process, so this function is necessary in a sense sphere realm where objects are experienced in a way that require this kind of mental bookmarking. So this is another name they call it bookmarking. So let's say in the browser, you also need bookmarking so you can come back easily to see the last website you visited. So Tanda Mana is called registration or called bookmarking. So absent in the higher realm. In the Rupa Vachana and Arupa Vachana realm, the mind is absorbed in meditative state, jhana, or abstract concept, that the quantity process is streamlined. There's no need for detailed realization object in the sense sphere realm, so tada, mana does not arise in this context. This one explains why absent in the higher realm. So in summary, realization consciousness, tada, mana, chitta, arises only in a karma vachara chitta, viti, because it functions specific for detailed processing of sensory and mental objects. In the sense sphere realm, in the higher realm of consciousness, the cognitive process are more refined. So when you go higher, you no need and do not require this state of realization. So this distinct reflects the intricate and concept subtle nature of consciousness as described in Teva Abhidhamma. So I stop here. So we continue next session, next 2 weeks time. We stop at here. So next session, we have the tutorial revision. Okay, everyone?
Okay, we'll take a rest. So meet again around 3 o'clock.
Okay, okay.